Hi everyone, today we'll be looking at the one-shot Monsters by Eiichiro Oda. So this one-shot is published in the collection of one-shots by the author of One Piece in this volume called Wanted. I did a quick review on Wanted a while ago, and I did mention I'll come back and do an in-depth summary review going through the story of Monsters to highlight the story of Ryuma. So what is the importance of Ryuma and the story of Monsters? So I'd like to go through this SBS from volume 47 of the One Piece series. So if you're not sure what SBS are, SBS is a sort of section where the author, Oda Sensei, tries to answer any question he may have received from fans. So, as I mentioned, in volume 47, he was asked this question. Question for you. Is the swordsman Ryuma, who was once said to have defeated a dragon in One Piece, the very same Ryuma that starred in the short story Monsters from your collection volume entitled Wanted? And Oda responds, the zombie Ryuma appears in chapter 450 of One Piece. He is indeed the Ryuma who starred in Monsters. In the world of One Piece, he's now a legendary swordsman who died of sickness. I wouldn't have minded if this had just slipped through the cracks, but I was happy to see that so many people noticed. So this is confirmation from Oda himself that Ryuma in this one-shot Monsters is in fact the same Ryuma that appears in the One Piece lore, the One Piece story. We first meet Ryuma as a zombie in the Thriller Bark arc, and Zoro in the end defeats him and claims his sword as his own at the end. The story starts with the narrator telling the story of a dragon's horn that was stolen 10 years ago. It was the only one in existence and was said to have a wondrous power. In the next scene, someone is being kicked out of a restaurant due to him being unable to pay for his meal. Meanwhile, in another restaurant, the waitress, Flair, recognizes the famous swordsman Cyrano, who she had encountered before. Their conversation is interrupted by a mad-looking guy staring through the window on Cyrano's meal with his stomach rumbling loudly. After Flair gives him something to eat, the samurai Ryuma states that this has been his first meal in 5 days, and offers his gratitude to the young waitress. He claims that a samurai owes his life to his lifesaver, but is ignored by Flair, who is talking to Cyrano. When the latter leaves the restaurant, his sword accidentally touches Ryuma's, which the samurai takes as a heavy insult. He challenges Cyrano to a duel to the death. As the two swordsmen engage each other, Ryuma slashes a copper Buddha easily in half. Right before the fight is escalating, Flair tells Ryuma to stop. Much to the viewer's surprise, he follows her order immediately. At the same time, another swordsman, DR, arrives at the city. Later on, Ryuma is seen sitting at the bar learning from the bartender the story of Flair's hometown. 7 years ago, the village in the mountains where Flair lived was suddenly attacked by a huge dragon. The only survivors were Flair and Cyrano, who saved the girl from the flames of the burning village. This event established Cyrano's reputation as a hero and a great swordsman. After listening to her story, Ryuma has great respect for Flair, who he thinks of as a very brave girl. He then has a chat with the bartender about the king, who is supposed to be the greatest swordsman alive, with Ryuma expressing the intention of fighting this king one day, since he believes the king has the soul of a real fighter. After finishing his meal, Ryuma decides to continue travelling. As he is walking down the street, Ryuma's sheath is seen yet again knocking against DR's. As Ryuma is calling the man for touching his sword, DR suddenly starts to scream and accuses Ryuma of stabbing him. While Ryuma is completely confused by the situation, DR further accuses him of wanting the dragon's horn he allegedly stole. He then decides to blow the horn in order to summon a dragon to destroy the whole town. He then breaks the horn and apparently dies. The surrounding crowd blames Ryuma for their misfortune and become violent towards him when Flare appears. Much to Ryuma's surprise, she gives him a slap in the face and calls him a murderer for causing the situation. Remembering her former encounter with a dragon, she states that he can't imagine how terrible a dragon really is, because if he did, he wouldn't have done something that stupid. Ryuma still doesn't get the situation at all and refuses to take responsibility. Cyrano, however, confirms that the horn is real and asks everyone to leave the town immediately. He wants to fight with the dragon on his own, though Flare is begging him not to do so. Although Ryuma is stating that it is stupid to risk his life for a few houses, Cyrano sticks to his decisions. The town's inhabitants are so mad at Ryuma telling him to commit harakiri, but he is stopped by Shirano. Later on, all the town's inhabitants have fled except for Flare and Ryuma, who are talking in the restaurant. Ryuma doesn't understand why Flare is so frightened, since Cyrano is supposed to be a really good swordsman. When Flare, haunted by her memories, storms off in order to stop Cyrano, Ryuma follows her outside. As they stop running and begin arguing again, Ryuma suddenly freezes in shock and tries to prevent Flare from turning around. As he fails, the two of them watch Cyrano helping DR loot the town. It turns out that Cyrano and DR were partners from the start, and they trapped Ryuma in order to blame him for the incident with the dragon. It is revealed that they were also responsible for the attack that happened 7 years ago. Back then, DR summoned a dragon in order to destroy the village, with a dragon horn that Cyrano had stolen from his own subordinates. So what really happened was Flare encountered Cyrano in the middle of the flames in her village, and she begged him for his help. Instead, he killed her father while she was unconscious, and decides to use Flare in order to gain some sort of prestige added to his name, which he was successful in doing. As Ryuma and Flare are hiding behind a house, Flare tells him that staying any longer would be suicide, as a dragon was still coming to destroy the town. She tells him to immediately leave the town, but instead of fleeing herself, she returns to her place and breaks down in tears. Ryuma, who has followed her again and witnesses her tears and screams from outside, runs off to confront Cyrano and DR. He states that he knew someone who would knock against another sword so thoughtlessly could never have a true fighter's soul. As Cyrano mocks Ryuma and finally attacks him, the latter kills with one strike. DR, frightened by this turn of events, pleads for his life by offering Ryuma the real dragon horn in order to stop the dragon from destroying the town. Ryuma just tells him that he is not an inhabitant of this town and draws his sword. As the dragon arrives, Flare is seen sitting on a rooftop, preparing to die together with the town. By then she realizes Ryuma is confronting the dragon. The samurai jumps from a building and beheads the beast with one mighty swing. As Ryuma is leaving the town after the battle, he meets Flare again. When he passes her by, he tells her to stop thinking about dying, as he believes dying isn't fun at all. When Flare asks him why he isn't famous at all, he just states that his reputation isn't important in a fight, but what you are protecting with it. As a farewell, he tells Flare that she owes one to him now and that he will return in order to have a meal. Later on, as the inhabitants of the town are returning to their houses, Flare learns from the bartender that Ryuma is actually called the King, and that this name was given to him by those he had saved. He is believed to be the world's best swordsman. So that's the end of this one shot. Probably one of my favorite one shots out of this collection. You probably noticed that Ryuma looks almost exactly like Zoro from One Piece, and that Cyrano has a very similar character design as Mihawk from One Piece as well. And the dragon also looks very similar to the dragon we see in Punk Hazard. Now, I don't think the story is based in Wano itself. It's probably on his travels as Ryuma is traveling the world, or maybe just the Grand Line, we don't know. He encounters this situation. Thank you all for watching, see you in the next video.